round the clock, learning so home. You get the education for all. Gyanwani, Gyanwani, education at your doorstep. It's only Gyanwani.
Namaskar, my name is Shilpa Jadhav. I am teaching sociology in NJ Acharya and DK Marathi College at Chembur. Friends, today we are going to see social anthropology. In that we are going to see ethnography. Ethnography as the empirical data on human societies and culture was pioneered in the biological, social and cultural branches of anthropology, but has also become popular in the social science in general sociology, communication studies, history, wherever people study ethnic groups, formation, composition, resettlements, social welfare characteristics, reality, spirituality and people ethnogenesis. The typical ethnography is a holistic study and so includes a brief history and an analysis of the terrain, the climate and the habitual. In all cases, it should be reflexive, make substantial contribution toward the understanding of the social life of humans, have as artistic impact on the reader and express a credible reality. It observes the world from the point of view, the subject and records all observed behavior and described all symbols, meaning, relation using concepts that avoid casual explanation. Next part, postmodern ethnography. Postmodern ethnography is an ethnography that goes beyond its traditional counterpart by expanding its reflectivity and its commitment to the group it studies. It questions its truth, claims and experiments with new modes of reporting. Postmodern ethnography derives its new goal from the postmodernism. Postmodernism comprises a state of beliefs that span of many disciplines, from architecture to literary criticism, from anthropology to sociology. It rejects grand narratives and meta-theories of modern with their preconceived and sweeping statements. Postmodernism proposes to fragment these narratives and study each fragment on its own. It does so in sociology by studying the interaction and details of everyday life and by analyzing each one separately based on its situation and context. Reflexivity is a paramount concern of postmodern ethnography, based on the belief that for too long the role and power of the researcher have been ignored by the ethnographers. The researcher choose what to observe. Next part, postmodern ethnography according to James Clifford. The essay in the James Clifford and George Marcuse writing Culture, the Poetics and the Politics of Ethnography are concerned with the explication of relation between the ethnographic field situation and the style of ethnographic text in his production to the book. For example, Clifford explained the effects of the new ethnographers' use of dialogue. It locates the effect cultural interpretation in many sorts of reciprocal contexts, and it obliges writers to find diverse ways of rendering negotiated realities as multi-subjective, power-laden and incongruent. In this view, culture is always relational, an inscription of communicative process that exists historically between subject in relation to power. Thus, Clifford argues that new ethnographers, those anthropologists who do not just theorize about textual production but who write cultural accounts, employ experimental writing techniques in an attempt to expose the power relations embodied in any ethnographic work and to produce a text that is less encumbered with Western assumptions and categories than traditional ethnographies have been. Michael Roseldo, for example, has attempted to make the initial cultural unintelligibility of the voice of an elongate headhunter, persuasive, not so much through argumentation or explication as through repetition. Next part, the postmodernist turn in anthropology, cautious from the feminist perspective, Clifford Geertz, writings and interpretation, Alexander Boskovic, Rhodes University, Grahamstown, South Africa. Robin Patrick Clare, in his book The Changing Story of Ethnography, he explained about ethnographical perspective which can use to study various subjects of social science. According to his interpretation, an ethnography is a practice and an expression with capacious historical past that necessarily includes philosophical, political, spiritual, atheistical elements. These elements have at times defined culture, named people and told them who they are and what they might become. In short, ethnography grew out of master disclosure of colonization. Today, scholars question the legitimacy of the disclosure. These challenges have come at a time that may mean the demise of ethnography. At the very least and without a doubt, the days of ethnography are over, if, indeed, they ever truly existed. However, it may be somewhat premature to pronounce required for ethnography as alternative forms of writing culture to continue surface. A review of history of ethnography should help to place ethnography in its political terrain, set the stage of discussion of alternative perspectives, and provide a backup or the essay included in this collection. There were so many scholars took interest to study an ethnography like Ellis and Bochner 1996, Burove et al. 1991, Clare 1998, Clifford and Maskews 1986, Denzin and Lincoln 1994, Van Manen 1995, Wolf 1992. Ethnographers have been known to creative or construct the other as primitive. Certain Western scholars evidenced arrogance through their judgmental interpretation of others. The next part, the linguistic interpretation turn. Ethnographers continued the colonial project in a new world order. Clifford Geertz, for example, working for the Ford Foundation, explored the third world development with the explicit goal of improving economic growth. Geertz ushered in a new era of ethnography. He is most famous for viewing ethnography as a textual undertaking that requires thick description and search out web of significance. His focus on symbol, text and language gave birth to what is sometimes called interpretive ethnography. Interpretive ethnography placed at the center of his enterprise and encouraged scholars conduct ethnographies of communication. Politics and power were not completely dismissed, but signification and symbols system were highlighted. Cultures were clearly labeled, and the idea that ethnographer could represent others still permitted much of the research. The idea that one specific truthful interpretation and representation could be gathered still acted as the basis assumption of ethnography. The interpretive ethnographer is understanding the meaning of a certain phenomenon. For example, Nick O'Donnell, Turgilio and Michael Pakanowski 1983 search for the meaning of tough talk among the police officer was grounded in Clifford Geertz 1973 interpretive notion, which were based on Max Weber's insight that webs of significance exist in the symbolism, in this case the everyday talk of the members. James Clifford and George Maskews 1986 provided a notable series of essays that pointedly criticized the tenets of modernist ethnography. including the interpretative mode. Clifford Gray's work is challenged for establishing an artificial authority and representation that tells no lies but does not tell the whole truth. Additional criticism includes Clifford's metacommunicative critique of ethnography. In his critique, Clifford 1986 uses Victor Turner's notion of social drama to explain modernist ethnography, and although it is interesting, one is hard pressed to understand how postmodern ethnography will not be yet another chapter in the social drama of ethnography. Tiffany A. Taylor's 1986 eloquent essay moves beyond the critique of the modernist enterprise and attempts to define postmodern ethnography. A postmodern ethnography is a creatively evolved text consisting of fragments of discourse intended to evoke in the minds of both the reader and the writer an emergent fantasy of possible world of a common sense reality, and thus provoke an artistic integration that will have a therapeutic effect. And the last part, the changing story of ethnographic Robin Patrick Clare. Postmodern ethnography has both strengths and weaknesses. Like any other ethnographic model, the main weakness of postmodern ethnography is that its theoretical foundation is plagued with paradoxes. For example, although the postmodern school of thought encouraged the elimination of bifurcation, they are firmly grounded in the bifurcation. As J.D. Moore 1997 points out that one attempt to distinguish postmodernism and modernism was a schematic list of 32 paired opposites describing modernism and postmodernism, respectively purpose, play, design, chance, hierarchy, anarchy, selection, combination, and so on. A second paradox that confronts postmodernism and turned postmodernism ethnographies is the issue of truth. Although postmodernism argue against one truth, their firm grounding as a school of thought has become legitimate as the answer to modernist fatalities. The only postmodernist to actually confront postmodernism with its own inflated sense of self-importance is Jean Baudrillard. Third, they cannot help but to create a limited picture of cultural phenomenon based upon their own sense of truth as they select out the fragments of discourse meant to represent, if not create, their version of the world. Fourth, the development of postmodern concern with oppression, hegemony and resistance rest primarily on the shoulders of European males. For example, Foucault, Derrida, Lacan and Baudrillard. Thus, their cultural analyses are still guided by European philosophy. Finally, a number of postmodern ethnographies are still very much couched in modernist views of who and what constitute ethnographic inquisition. James Fernandez, work in Gabon, a Francophone nation on the Atlantic coast of Africa, has been highly praised for capturing the discursive focus of postmodern ethnography. He studied the tropes, especially metaphors, of the Fang culture. True to postmodernism stance, he studies how metaphors create a way of being in the world, but note that his subjects are Africans who have relentlessly been viewed as others.